Everybody talks about getting clients, but who's talking about getting clients results? Peace family, Coach Tice here. Inside this video, I want to go over a couple of different principles that you can use to get your clients better results for your high ticket coaching program or consulting services. Now, we all know that when you're able to get your clients better results, you have a better product, you get more referrals, you have a better business because people are getting results and they want to continue working with you. And so this is a gap that I feel like hasn't been filled. Everybody's talking about how to get clients, but nobody's talking about how to actually get them results. And so I thought this could be an appropriate video for you. So before we get started, make sure that you subscribe and let's jump right into it. So when it comes to getting your clients results inside of your coaching program or services, it can get a bit challenging depending on what type of result that you're promising, as well as who you're working with and what is simply the nature of your offer. Now, I personally have experience from my own high ticket transformation business and being able to get people results in regards to their health, as well as helping other coaches get people results in multiple different areas. And so when we start to look to improve this, we need to think about a couple of different things. And the first one is that you need to be able to effectively unpack your intellectual property, meaning all of the things that are inside of your head that compile your unique approach or your unique solution to solving your client's problems. We need to make sure that that's organized the right way, because not only do you need to effectively articulate that inside of your content, inside of your marketing, but also inside of your program, coaching, and curriculum. The last thing that you want people to do is be sold on a result, but when they get into your program, things are just all over the place or just not organized, and they don't feel like they have what they need to get results within the container that you're offering them. And so what this looks like is really taking the time to break down your pillars, break down the different learning processes that are in place, and I almost say like brain dumping everything and actually going in and refining it like piece by piece based on what your clients need. Now, this is important, especially for my coaches out there that come from a more merited academia-based background, where we can sometimes perceive more information as better when it comes to coaching, and that's not necessarily always the case, because part of getting the results is the information. Then we also have the order of that information. Then we have the implementation, and we have the execution. And so we need to think about these different aspects, because a lot of people think like, hey, I just have a lot of information to give people. This is all they need for them to get the result that they're looking for. We need to organize this, make sure that you're putting out the effective information in the right order, in a way that's consumable, in a way that can be implemented throughout your curriculum and your coaching. So now let's talk about something that's very, very important. As a matter of fact, might be the most important aspect of your coaching program when it comes to getting clients results. And that is having a hyper effective onboarding process. Literally, the minute that a client makes a payment to work with you, with your program or your services, the onboarding process needs to be seamless, it needs to be simple, and it needs to be very, very effective. I remember being in a mastermind and having a conversation with a fellow coach that was running a really dope platform for entrepreneurs who were looking to get healthy. And they had some really good branding, really good relationships, and he came to me and said, look, man, like, I'm selling this offer like nothing. Like, we're getting the right type of people, they're paying in full, but they're just jumping into the program and they aren't doing anything. And he was like, I see that you're getting all these amazing results with your clients. Like, I would love to know like what it is you're doing. And so I said, okay, cool. And so we went and we opened up his membership curriculum and site. And essentially what happened is when his clients would sign up, they would immediately get access to a membership site that had 5 or 6 hours of like all this high level information to simply start with. Now, the problem with that is like this person in particular, they were targeting very high level entrepreneurs. So they were targeting pretty much 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs. And I'm like, bro, you're a multi 6-figure entrepreneur. Let me ask you a question. Do you have the time to go through 7 hours of content when you join a coaching program? Probably not. And so I was like, it might make more sense to streamline this information down to really focus on getting your client in the door, moving them towards their first milestone, and having a simple onboarding process. Because if you overwhelm your client the minute they come into your coaching program, right, they start to feel overwhelmed and they pull back from their action, and that is the absolute worst thing that you can do. It's literally like when we talk about content, how we talk about the hook is the most important thing. Inside of your coaching program, the onboarding process is going to be one of the most important things. Don't over-deliver information. You also want to make sure that you're having a seamless process, and you want to get your client their first win. And their first win doesn't have to be an immediate result. It can be the creation of something, the organization of something. You want to get them their first level of clarity, because now that is the ROI and their initial commitment that keeps them committed to keeping it going. And so look, let's just say that you have a nice organized intellectual property that's organized into the right curriculum. You have a smooth, simple onboarding process for your clients. Now what we also have to think about is what are the biggest obstacles that are in the way of getting our clients results? This is important because here's when we start to think about what are the areas of implementation or the areas of our intellectual property that we need to focus on to allow clients to get over the fence when it comes to getting results, because that's one of the biggest things. And so let's just say that you are a fitness coach and you help people with their habits, with their nutrition, with their workouts, with their mindset, but you know that one of the biggest obstacles that stands in the way of having somebody see that physical day and night change with their body is going to be nutrition. And with that being said, you may not want to underlook the implementation of nutrition because that's the biggest obstacle. And so now you're going to have the different aspects of your program where you're coaching and you're teaching on habit formation, you're helping them with workouts, you give them the workouts, whether it be pre-recorded inside of an app. However, in addition to that, you may want to have a certain part of your container where they're not only learning about nutrition or even getting the nutrition plan itself, but you're really teaching them the mindset and implementation of the right nutrition plan. So what this looks like is maybe having a weekly coaching call just for nutrition, where your clients can come and address their concerns about, hey, I feel like I'm really busy and I can't really hit my macros. I feel like starting the morning off with fruits is really hard because of my children, and all these different concerns, because typically there's the most concerns around that big obstacle. And what we can realize is that that big obstacle is typically a big domino for the results. Like even as a business coach myself, like I help you guys, right, not only learn how to develop content that attracts the right type of client, but also what happens when you tap in with me and now you're creating great content and people are tapping in, but you don't know how to sell. Selling is one of the biggest obstacles for coaches of any industry. As a business coach, even inside of my program, we have 2 calls a week that are specifically for sales conversations, role plays, and etc. And so we really want to take a look at what is that big domino? What is that obstacle that is the biggest hurdle for my clients? How can I offer the right level of support inside of my container, whether that be a coaching call, whether that be something that's done for you, whether that be an additional sub-coach in that area for one-on-one help, whether that be one-on-ones in itself. We need to figure out how can I make sure that the biggest obstacle or obstacles, my clients are getting the necessary information, support, and implementation. So we talked about support. What I also want to move into is like, how can we start to create an environment where our clients are inspired to do the work? Look, if you're a coach and you have a roster of clients, or you aspire to have a nice roster of clients that are paying you and working towards results, you and I both know that the thing that's going to get your clients results the fastest and the most effectively is their commitment. And to a certain extent, you're not really in control of that commitment, like even when they pay you. And so we have to look at, well, as a business, as a coach, as a leader, how can I create an environment where my clients feel inspired to stay committed to do the work? And that's going to be in your coaching program culture. Your coaching program culture is really going to be centered around the ideas and the mindsets and the beliefs that your clients adopt when they're working with you. And that doesn't have to be anything life-changing, but it is a certain set of beliefs that allow them to kind of really align themselves with the person that they need to be equipped to use the tools that you give them. I always say, look, you can have the best tools in the world to build the best building, but if you don't have the right operator, they're not gonna know how to effectively use those tools and get the job done. And so we need to understand that part of our coaching program isn't just giving our clients the tools, but it's helping evolve them into becoming the right operator. And we can do this a lot within our culture. Our culture includes, again, the mindsets and beliefs that our clients are adopting when they're working with us. How do we cultivate this in our group coaching structures, in our curriculum, in our onboarding process? And here's the thing, coach, you even start to create the culture for your coaching program inside of your content before your clients even begin working with you. And that's through sharing your strong perspective and your thought leadership, because that's what empowers your prospective clients to want to do the work in the first place, so that way they can then want to come do the work with you. So lastly, what I want to talk about is something big, and it's going to involve you, coach. It's going to involve making sure that you're getting your clients results, but making sure that you're able to be in the position to lead your clients to results, along with balancing the other facets of business like marketing, sales, and operations. And that is going to be by creating boundaries with your clients. See, a lot of coaches, especially newer coaches, we sometimes can adopt this mindset that more access to us is most effective for our clients. And while I do agree that we need to consider what type of support, even one-on-one help that our clients may need, what we need to also consider is that we only have a certain amount of capacity. And our job in our coaching programs is not always to just handhold our clients through everything, because the challenge with that is like, we need to find this happy balance of like hand-holding and implementation versus like actually allowing our clients to go through a development phase when it comes to certain things. Because if they don't, what we end up doing is we end up stripping our clients of the experiences and even the challenges that they need to deal with to evolve and growing. And look, this is when we start to talk about, am I just a service provider that's just gonna do it for you? Or am I actually a coach that's helping you evolve not only a strategy and a system, but helping evolve you as a business owner or as a person to be able to embody that to get results? And so sometimes that confusion can cause us to think, you know what, let me just give my clients unlimited access to me. And now our clients can sometimes get crutched to reaching out to us and asking us for questions when we have those answers in a curriculum. Or now our clients can end up thinking that, you know, just because they paid a certain amount of money, they can just reach out to us anytime and we're pretty much their coach and decision maker on demand. And look, if you're a good coach, one of the things that you will 100% allow your client to graduate and ascend your program with is not only the results and the implementation, but the ability to make decisions around that initial problem that they had in the first place. And so we want to be able to create proper boundaries with clients. Do not be afraid to set them, especially early on in the process, coach. And look, it's just a conversation, right? If you have a client that signs on and they don't go through any onboarding and they're reaching out like, I need help with this and I need help with that, and you feel like, well, this is just in a curriculum, what are you doing here? You don't have to be condescending or, you know, rude about it, but just say, hey, I appreciate you for reaching out. Look, what I want you to do is actually go through the curriculum, because that's actually gonna help you solve your problem, but it's also gonna be some really important information you need in that part of the curriculum that's gonna help you with XYZ downstream in the process. Sometimes it's creating boundaries on like how your clients reach out for support, and it's saying, hey, thanks for reaching out. Typically what I would like you to do before you reach out with this type of question is actually try to come up with a solution yourself based on the curriculum. And if you feel like there's still a challenge with there, then reach out to me and then we'll go over further in our coaching call, or we'll go over it further in a one-on-one. And these are just part of the different things, especially depending on the markets that we're working with and the sophistication of the problems that we're solving. These are the type of boundaries we have to set as coaches, otherwise our clients will run all over us. And it's not their fault. They're not trying to do it intentionally. They're trying to max out the bang for their buck of what they invested in. And of course, as human beings, we always want to take the path of least resistance. So when we understand human beings, we can understand what boundaries to put in place to make sure that we're operating at the right capacity that we need to operate, but we're also giving clients the space that they need to get support, as well as actually start to figure things out on their own. Because now, when you have clients that are willing to figure things out on their own and are willing to actually do the work and think critically through their problems, they get better results because they're embodying taking action, they're embodying making decisions, they're embodying moving towards a version of themselves that actually has the results that they're looking for. Okay, cool, so we went over a couple different things inside this video. I would love to know what were your thoughts. Make sure you drop a comment below. But again, to recap, we talked about how to effectively get your clients better results. We talked about unpacking your intellectual property. We talked about having a hyper-effective, simple onboarding process to get your clients that initial buy-in. The onboarding to your coaching program is like what a hook is to your short-form content. It's very, very important. It's one of the most important things. We talked about understanding what are the big obstacles, the big dominoes that are getting in the way of your client getting their results, and how can we offer the necessary support, the necessary curriculum, and the necessary structure to get them over those obstacles. We talked about creating a culture within your program, a culture of doing, a culture of embodying the right mindsets and beliefs for your clients to start doing the work to solve their problems. And then lastly, what's most important, not only for your client, but what's most important for you, and that is going to be setting boundaries with your clients, boundaries on what support looks like, boundaries on the level of access that they have to you, and boundaries in a healthy way that, again, is not only good for you, but allows them to actually be who they need to be resourceful, do the work, so that way they can actually get results with you. And so, coach, thanks for giving me your time today. I hope you found an immense amount of value in this video. Maybe you've had some epiphanies around some things, maybe some boundaries, some things that you need to actually implement inside of your coaching program. And again, if you're new to this channel, my name is Coach Tice, and I help high-ticket coaches and consultants really just close the gap between content and sales so they can normalize 5-figure months, so that we can attract the right quality clients that do the work, get results, refer them people, and make an amazing coaching business. So if that sounds like you, make sure to subscribe. Feel free to click the links in the bio if you want to learn more about how we can potentially help. Peace, fam.